Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to International Racing League Season 7 F1 Tier Round 10 at Italy. I am your commentator, IRL Neon, or as Jared Fosbury. I'm joined by my co-commentator Aspect, or as Kevin Harrison. And right now I think Kevin is up here. As you can see, we do have a new fancy graphic today in the stream, which was being done by Paco Suarez, which is great to see. And we will be at Italy today. Also, some new information with Season 8 is coming very soon. More info will be also delivered soon on all social media. On Twitter, we will be mainly delivering the info, and also for the people in Discord. If you do want to know more information of Season 8, do join the Discord on the link under the IRL Twitter. And we'll also be seeing the standings very soon, as last week we did see Pedro BRT Faz take the win, with Matthew Alder and Jay, I believe, staying on the intermediate tyres in the full wet conditions at Germany. As we now do see the standings, with Matthew Alder leading the standings with 154 points to his name, Jay Jorbridge in second with 102, Cameron Young in third with 66 points, Jack Laverty only 1 point behind in fourth with 65 points, and Matthew Collins in fifth with 63 points. Brandon Glover also in sixth with 61 points, tying with Pedro in seventh with 61 points. And then there's another interesting battle between Diego and Aaron. Unfortunately, Aaron has retired from this season, and Lewis Curtis is in 10th with 43 points. As now we will be going on to the constructor standings now, as Matthew Alder does lead with Cameron Young in the Williams team with 220 points in first place for Williams. Mercedes team by Bran and Jay Jorbridge with 163 points in second place. The Renault team in third with 112 points. The McLaren's fourth with 105 points to their name. Ferrari are having a better season this season, with in fifth with 63 points. Haas in sixth with 60 points, so that's going to be a nice team battle between them two. Racing Point in seventh with 50 points. Toro Rosso eighth with 43 points. And Red Bull ninth with 24 points, with Alfa Romeo only with 11 points to their name in 10th. And also, we are at Italy today. There is 2 DRS detection points, and there is a lot of overtaking opportunities. There's 3 straights where there'll be a lot of opportunities in turn 1 and 2, possibly for overtakes. At the exit of turn 2 as well, if you get a good run, you could go side by side all the way through turn 3. And you've got a tricky section of turn 4 and 5 where you've got to make sure you get right, because the curbs here can be deadly and it could shove you completely off the track. Also turn 6 and 7, where you will get the next first DRS detection point. After turn 7, you hit the DRS and a possible overtaking spot there. And Ascari also will be a tricky section as well, you need to get right, because you could easily spin up and end into the wall. And also then you have another opportunity through the final corner at turn 11 to also make another passing opportunity. As the number of laps are 27, the fastest lap last season for the F1 tier was from Louis Welsh with a 120.9, for F2 122.7, and for F3 a 133 flat. There's 11 corners, track length is 5.793 kilometers or 3.600 miles. Previous winner was Louis in F1, F2 was Kevin Harrison, and F3 was Billy Mossam. Tyre choices are soft, medium and hard for dries, and inners of wets. And we will also be looking what weather we'll have today in the Italy Grand Prix.
Yeah, I'm back now.
As Michael Conte has returned. Well then, Kevin, have you got any other information about the track?
I think you more or less covered it. I didn't really want to interrupt you. Obviously, as you said, there's quite a few places you can overtake here. Many side-by-side opportunities. Should be able to see some great racing, especially down the back straight in Sector 2. Could see some moves into Ascari, although they are quite risky. It's difficult to go side-by-side there. And also we could see some spins at the exit of Ascari as well, as it is a bit of a tricky corner for traction. So I think it's set up to be quite a good race.
That is true, of course, and right now we'll talk about the steward findings from last week then, as Matthew Collins has a 15-second penalty for this race as he did not finish last week. Diego had his penalties added on, so he didn't finish 6th in Germany, he actually finished 8th. And that is all the student pens for this week, as we will be starting very shortly in Italy, and we can't wait for an action-packed race, as Matthew did say it's one of his better tracks, so we could possibly see Matthew Older at the top step yet again, but I don't think Jay will be up there. I think Jay's going to be up there and try to stop Matthew Older, as so with Cameron Young, as he said he may have a good chance as well in Italy. And could we see some more team orders from the Williams team and the Mercedes team to try and help them out in the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors? Only time will tell, and we'll have to wait and see until we get the 5 light sequence and we get on with the Italy Grand Prix.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty full grid as well, so in that sense, just more opportunities for people to go side by side, but also more opportunities for maybe a safety car around this track as well. Fresh tyres and having an advantage over people is quite crucial, so if someone gets a lucky safety car and gets on better tyres, they might be able to break the DRS and get away, so you never know.
Yeah, that is true. Of course, this track is basically like Austria. If you can just stay within that DRS, you can just basically pull along, and you're not really going to pull away unless they make a mistake. And with the drivers we have some very skilled drivers. As speak about Matthew Older, has in Austria, he did make a mistake. He got a penalty, so the pressure can get to Matthew if Jay puts him under enough pressure in the race. And I hope to see a nice championship fight between these two in this weekend, going side by side, as long with possibly Cameron as well, to try and help his teammate out in the Constructors fight, which at the moment I think the way it will go, I think Williams are going to be able to take the Constructors Championship very soon, as Brandon hasn't been up to pace. But other than that, I think the Williams team are going to be up there.
Looking at, of course, as you said, last week Matthew did make the small mistake. Of course, Jay ended up beating him anyway, so on track. Wait, it wasn't Austria last week? It was actually Britain. Oh, well, in Austria anyway. Matthew did make that mistake, which potentially lost him a win. I mean, there were also a few other small mistakes where he locked up or went deep, so as you said, yeah, the pressure can get to Matthew Older, and I think if enough pressure can get to him, maybe Jay might be able to take advantage of that. Looking at the points gap, of course, there is a 52 points in it, so Jay will really be wanting to look at winning the last 3 rounds to really have any chance of being there, and he's going to have to hope that Matthew has some bad luck. But looking at it, I mean, if you exclude Austria, doesn't look like Matthew makes many mistakes.
That is true, of course, but also with Britain, which was 2 weeks ago, he had unfortunate luck, which also cost him a win, because it looked like he was going to have a dominant win, and the track was changing with the weather conditions, as it was raining at the start, went to intermediates, and then it was drying up, and it took a while, and about 11 laps to dry completely up. And unfortunately Matthew got a little puncture which unsettled his car going into the pits, which gave him a penalty, and that penalty did cost him the win, and that's where Matthew Collins won. in Britain. But then a similar scenario happened in Germany, but it wasn't the pit lane what let him down this time. He took a gamble to stay on the intermediates. He thought that it would have been a quicker option, but his teammate and Pedro were playing the smart decision on the full wet tyres, and then it happened again where Matthew didn't get the win, and unfortunately finished, I believe, in third place. But he still beat his championship rival, which was Jay, who finished further down the grid. But will we see that today? Only time will tell, of course, because it could be dry, it could be the wet period over, what we've had for 3 weeks. It could be a completely dry race, which I am hoping for some more action-packed racing, but anything can happen, of course. This is F1.
Yeah, interesting that last week in Germany that Jay on intermediates, because if you look at Britain, he was by far the quickest man out on track when he had those intermediates on, and he was closing in. I mean, he looked like if it was gonna stay that way, it looked like he might have been able to go for the win. But then if you look at Germany, in Matthew and Jay stayed on it just the whole race to the end, while other people went on wets, and Matthew seemed quicker. So it seems maybe a bit more track dependent, and maybe Jay isn't so much better than Matthew in the wet. So I'm not sure if you thought as well, but I mean, looking at Britain, I thought maybe Jay had an advantage in the wet, but maybe not.
Well, at Britain, Jay was pretty quick, of course. He may have been good at that track, and some drivers are quick at certain tracks, of course. But couldn't really tell with the weather conditions, as it was actually on the switch point when Jay was actually picking up the pace, as we are going underway very shortly as well. But Matthew, Jay and Cameron are strong at this track, I've been told, so we could see another 3 wide moment like we did in France last season with Matthew, Louis and Cameron, and I believe Jay as well. So, as I said earlier,
you speak of those three as well. We've had those three on the podium quite a lot this season. Of course, with those three, we've had an identical podium twice, I'm pretty sure. So that being Britain and Austria, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
So yeah, those three seem to like being on the podium with each other, but most of the time when that happens, Jay's the one to come out on top. So maybe history will repeat itself.
That's true, of course. History could repeat itself, and did have a bit of contact here. Unfortunately, Jay got a penalty with the contact, and it did actually affect Matthew a little bit. I think he still won, however. Hopefully we don't have that today, and hopefully it can be a nice and clean race with some action-packed racing and possibly a surprise from other individuals, as for some reason... Oh, there we go. It did say 1 lap at 3, but it's fixed now, as we are now in the lobby, of course.
I've seen that happen before. That's just a little glitch.
As we have 19 drives today then, as we will be going underway very shortly. As we go, you can see Jay's already getting ready in the Mercedes car, ready to leave the garage. As Big Boy June, I don't know who that is, unless that's Fran. Don't know. But the Mercedes of Jay is the first one out, it looks like.
Yeah, also I've seen there Brett is back, finally. He could have raced the last few races, but didn't, but he's back now. So that's good to see. And almost full grid, so maybe we might see someone joining quali and complete it.
Yeah, that is true, of course. Brett has returned after the Australia ban he had with a contact with Jay. And he has returned. He could have raced the last few rounds, but unfortunately he couldn't make the time. It was actually Jay has actually gone ahead of these two, Lewis Curtis and the Hashtag, I believe, of Casper. So we'll go on board with Jay. Jay is in a hurry, it looks like, and just wants to get on with this race.
Yeah, it seems that he wants to get those laps in as quickly as possible. With a track like this, I think you might just be able to get in 4 runs if you're quick about it. It looks like Jay is being quite quick about it, getting out. He's the first one out, of course. May as well go on board with him as well as he comes up to Parabolica. So around the final corner, need to get the traction quite well. It is a very nice exit, I think. You gotta make sure you run as small as possible. Now, coming down to turn 1, opening up DRS. Yes, the corner's right. Keeps out of the way, nice and good. So you have to brake within the 100 and 150 meter board, and he does just that, going through the first 2 corners, and he takes them quite well. Of course, Jay is gonna have to really kick it up a gear to take the fight to Matthew, because every point counts, and Matthew is the one with quite a bit more, so here you have to take a lot of that curb, and you have to take a lot of that curb just not, and validating he takes that very, very well, and now it's down to 4th, and then you short shift to 5th for both of these 2 corners here, and he does just that. Now coming on the back straight, this is an overtaking opportunity in the race, coming into Ascari, and he should be able to stick 5th for most of it, and then 6th on the exit. There it is, and he keeps that traction quite well, as people may be struggling with that. Coming into the final corner now, Parabolica, he might get a little bit of slipstream on the exit from, I think that's Sundre Sorhog there. So through the final corner, what's going to be? This is going to be the time that everyone's going to have to beat. Coming across the line for an 18.5, a pretty good lap at the start of quali here.
Yeah, that is a very good lap, of course, with the 1:18.5, as here comes Casper through the final corner. What time will he do, and will he even be close to Jay? As he does a 19.6, so he's a whole second off Jay there, so Jay looks like he's on a very strong lap. Now, I know some of these drivers can go to the low 18s, so could we possibly see Jay doing 18 flat or possibly 17.9 as Cameron Young goes second with an 18.7. And while you were commentating over Jay's lap, I did notice something, I believe, from Matthew Alder. He made a mistake through turn 1. He almost spun the car completely, and there was yellow flags, which I did see, unless that was Cameron, but I believe it was Matthew, since Cameron did an okay lap.
Yeah, it looks like Cameron's also giving his teammate slipstream, so obviously very crucial to be able to get as far up as possible, and this is going to help him all the way down to the second chicane, and he gets that slipstream quite well, and that worked out quite well for them. It's a little bit up on the gravel there, if you want to take it the rest of his lap.
Yeah, well, as right now then, he is trying to push through the double right-hander corner. Nice and tidy a bit. He went a bit in 5th gear there. Jay went in 4th, so he's probably wanted a bit more traction on the car. As we've got yellows up near Sky, I think that was the Haas driver of Casper, letting Lewis Curtis through. And we get a nice shot of Matthew Order there, going through Sky, really attacking the curbs and really pushing it to the limit. As Jack Laverty goes second with an 18.6, so beats Cameron Young at the moment. Ollie Flavel is in 4th with a 19 flat, as Pedro, the race winner of Germany, is in 7th right now with a 19.4. But the championship points leader, Matthew Alder, what's he going to set to the line? 18.2. That is a very strong lap and a very strong message there to Jay to just pick up the pace and get up there, especially with the slipstream which was given. As right now we will go on board with Jay's teammate Brandon.
I think that's slipstream could have made the difference there. There is 4 tenths in it. I think he could have probably gained 2 or 3 from that slipstream. So I don't think Jay's too far off from here, although I think Matthew may have a small advantage.
Yeah, that is true. I think he could have done an 18.4 without that slipstream, but he felt that it was needed, and now we're on board with Jay's teammate, who's getting a little bit of slipstream on the medium tyres from the Toro Rosso driver. And I believe that's Sandra Sohaug, and I think it is. He pulls out the way. And right now, here comes Brandon there through the final corner. Is he going to be up the field this week? Has he now picked up the pace a little bit and getting used to that Mercedes? Goes 11th with a 19.6, but he's on medium, so he beats a few people who are already on softs who've done 19.7s and 19.9s, like Jack Yates and Eric, and Sandra, who's done a 20.7 in 14th.
Yeah, I think if he was on softs there, he probably could have pushed into the 18s a little bit. I feel like he would have the pace to as well. Obviously, with the championship going the way it's going, he is going to have to pick up that pace a little bit, as it seems to... I don't think Brandon's taken his chances as well as he could have. I know back in Monaco, I think there was a potential podium there. I don't think he got it. I think he got 4th in the end. I can't remember properly, but I think he could have picked up a few more points along the way. So maybe today he could change that and get some strong points finish.
That is true, of course. Matthew Collins has started his lap, Kevin, if you want to go on board with him. He is in the Ferrari, and he has a 15-second penalty today, which he needs to keep in mind.
Yeah, through turn 1, a small lock-up. It's going to affect him a little bit. Through coming up to the second chicane, we're going to see a lot of overtakes coming into the chicane. This chicane is also very tight as well. Don't really want to be going side by side here because you are going to lose quite a bit of time, and it's not the easiest. But through now these fast right-handers, as it should be a short shift to fifth in the exit, and he does just that. Jay didn't do that, Matthew did.
Yeah,
so
sorry to cut you off, Kevin. Jay's actually crashed through turn 4. Sorry to cut you off, yeah. He turned 4 and 5. It looks like he might have lost it through the curb, like as I was saying earlier. So he's out, and he's currently in second place, as Matthew Collins unfortunately has invalidated as well.
Oh.
There's been a massive crash further down as well. That's Ollie Flavel, I believe, who's gone off the track. I think letting drivers through that actually, and that's a bit dangerous way to put it. He's a bit on the racing line, as he had a bit of issues in qualifying last week with Brandon, which was determined a racing incident with neither driver at fault. Lewis Curtis gets out of the way, and yeah, you can just see there that little tyre barrier there on Jay, where Jay's collided and hit the wall, so he must have just hit that. As Casper's also retired as well through a Scari. His drivers are now starting to retire, which is not good to see, as we will go on board with Eric then. Since I cut you off there, Kevin, you can go on board with Eric if you want to.
Yeah, I've just caught him as well, so through these, this kind of, not quite double right-hander, but right-hander straight onto a right-hander, and he doesn't short shift to fifth there, through the extra bit of traction, which is interesting. You do certainly gain just a little bit of time. And now coming up to a Scari, you want to go down to fourth and then take it mostly fifth, and sixth on the exit, and he does just that. You might get a little bit of slipstream from, I think, let's say, Renault or Haas ahead of him. Maybe also on a lap, I'm not sure, but through Power Vulcan now, he doesn't actually, kind of a bit hesitant on the throttle there. So he might lose a little bit of time on that, but he's going to put himself 11th for now with a 19.4.
It's good enough for him right now as he beats Casper. Casper now drops to 12th place. Jay's still second though, even though he's only done one qualifying on the tyres he had, which is going to be interesting. The both Williams drivers are getting really amazing teamwork on the slip. Oh, Cameron makes a mistake there, just loses it on the curb, and luckily didn't lose his front suspension on the right front of his tyre there. There's only damage he has is his wing, and that's very lucky. And I think he was kind of affected with the cars slowing down through turn 3 and 4, and with Matthew's slipstream possibly didn't help him. And I think the Toro Rosso, Sandro Sohal, was also lost it through a Scari.
That's Ollie Flavel off the track.
Yeah, that is Ollie Flavel off the track. Has he got...
why that's happened? Has he got a wing?
I can't really tell at the moment because camera angle's not really helping me, to be honest. As Casper says, I need to stop crashing in quali. Well, quali isn't everything, as right now actually looks on board quali. There's an Alpha.
He has the wing. I'm not sure why he went off.
Is that Jamie? That is Jamie.
It is Jamie, and
he's out as well.
On the exit of a Scari.
Yeah, but he's out, so he's completely lost it through a Scari, and that's one of the Alpha males.
I mentioned that traction wouldn't be the easiest there, and obviously Jamie has fallen victim to it in the worst way possible. He's out of this quality session. He has got a lap in already, which isn't too bad. Hopefully he doesn't move down the grid too much for his sake. But yeah, not too difficult of a mistake to make. Speaking of the Williams, however, though, Matthew's just got a second bit of slipstream off his teammate, so his teammate definitely helping Matthew in this quality session quite a lot. Now through his second right-hander. That's interesting, he didn't shift to fifth there. We saw Jay not doing his lap. Matthew did it on his first lap, he didn't do it now. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. Is that going to slow him down? It might have hindered him a little, but he gets out of the way well. Now coming down to Parabolica's, his team is just behind him. He might be returning the favour next lap.
Mercedes lost it through a Ascari. That's Brandon. Brandon's lost it through a Ascari there.
Sticking with Matthew though, coming to the line. He is going to improve by a 10th.
18-1. Matthew could possibly break into the 17s. Could be the only guy to do it possibly now. Lewis Curtis is in second place. So he did jump Jay there as he comes into the pits. And Jay says, not the quite ideal qualifying. And that is true. That is a shame that he is out. And Jamie says then, too many people in the way. Now I'm guessing that's probably why he crashed. He possibly tried to avoid a driver. That may be why he lost control through Ascari. And that is true. Some drivers can get in the way in Italy. It is the biggest track, or like straights wise, you've got a lot of places to move, but tricky corner sections you need to get out of the way, or you're just going to cost a driver a lot of time. As we go and jump on board with Pedro right now, as he is about to start it out, as Matthew Collins actually fell down the grid in 18th, is the only person that's set a lap, and Big Boy Dewan, who I don't believe is in the session anymore, isn't going to be doing lap, as Brent says he's a reserve. I don't know if he's...
Interesting time for Pedro to be doing a lap, because it's quite close to the end. He won't get a lap right at the end, I don't think, unless he pits this lap, but looks like he's going for it.
As Pedro then is on a lap as we speak, he's going very close to the turn 3 there on the right side. Through turn 4, you can just see that he bounces on those curbs and gets a nice exit there through turn 3 and 4. Seri takes turn 5 and 6. Nice and tidy, runs wide a little bit. Goes to 4th gear, doesn't short shift like Matthew did to 5th. Maybe 4th gear maybe a bit quicker than short shifting to 5th gear. Maybe that's why Matthew didn't do it earlier. As right now then Pedro is climbing up to 14 miles an hour through that straight. Comes into Ascari. Got to get this nice and tidy. Runs a little bit wide. Almost affects him, and he has to back off that lap. As you can just see through Ascari, he almost lost complete control.
I think he's going to abort that lap and come and try again. He might just have enough time if he pits. I don't think he's going to improve at that.
As Big Boy Dewan is Ewan Clark. He's one of the reserve drivers in today's race, so he is new. My bad. We will go on board with somebody else then. We'll go on board with the Red Bull of Brett, who has actually invalidated his lap. Let's speak about Brett right now, actually. With his race ban listed, do you think that's possibly cost him in the championship fight? Could he have been a contender, possibly against Matthew Ord and Jay this season, or do you think he's just been unfortunate and had to deal with that ban?
I mean, of course, I think he's lost points. I mean, he's someone who's going to get into the top 10 regularly. I mean, he's quick enough for it for sure. But I don't think that he would have been going for the championship though. I think if anyone was going to take the championship off Matthew this season, it was going to be Jay. And of course, Jay is the one who's closest to him. Yeah, I don't think he would have won for the championship, but he's certainly missed points.
Okay, then as we go on board with Cameron Young now, and yet again the Williams team are doing amazing teamwork. And this time Matthew's repaying the favour for Cameron. Cameron gets the slip. Turn 3 and 4, runs a bit wide. Oh, gets the rear tyre on the gravel there, and that's backed off his lap there. And Matthew had to be careful that he didn't rear end him. And possibly now Cameron will be repaying the favour to Matthew later on. As I believe the Renault of Voss is actually...
I think Cameron might want to set the next lap, so maybe he'll try and give Matthew, be close enough to give Matthew a little bit of safe string, but be far enough away that he can still set a lap himself, because I think he's going to want to.
That is true, of course.
Because I'm sure he can improve on P7, because I think he does have the pace in him to do it. And it looks like he has actually got away from his teammate a little bit. He's made a little bit of a gap for himself. So yeah, he will be setting another lap, and he won't be helping out his teammate for his last run.
Well, Voss is going to stay in 5th then, as he didn't get a good run on his lap, as I believe the next driver who was next to start lap was actually Felix Negwa. As he is in the Red Bull, he's currently sitting in 13th place, and he invalidates...
Oh, Cameron is... Oh, Cameron's actually not doing another lap. He's going to give the slipstream to his teammate.
Ah, interesting tactics then. Matthew doesn't feel like he's safe currently in 1st. So we'll go on board with Matthew then. Kevin, if you want to finish off his lap.
Yes, through the second right-hander. I didn't really catch if he did short shift or not, but I don't think he did. Coming up to a scurry, you're going to want to be in 5th gear for most of this. And he does just that 6th gear on the exit. And oh, where is he? Yes, he lost it. Is he going to keep it? Out of the wall? No, he does hit it. He hits the wall, and that is his lap over.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that from Matthew. Wow.
Yeah, I think maybe the pressure of... I think he put the pressure on himself. I don't think that his pole is under any threat. I think he was just desperate to go quicker, and it's cost him.
That is true, of course. And Jack Laverty then goes to 2nd place after improving on his time with an 18.4. So Matthew was safe. So he kind of actually affected his teammate then a little bit. His teammate's currently in 7th. And the final people finishing off their laps. Now here comes Jack Yates. 8/10 up on his lap, goes 12th with a 119 flat, which is going to be good enough for him, as now we go on board with Brett, who has made his return in the Red Bull, possibly trying to help Red Bull in the Constructors fight, as now we are approaching now through the final corner. Really getting close. As there goes Brett then with a 1.2 seconds improvement and goes 11th, beats his teammate, returning back to the Red Bull team.
6th gear on the exit. And oh, where is he? Yes, he lost it. Is he going to keep it? Out of the wall? No, he does hit it.
We're also going to get a little replay then of Matthew Alder's mistake he made on his qualifying lap, as we can see on board, as he just loses it on the curb there, as he didn't have a good entry through a scurry and goes straight into the wall, which is a shame to see. As now we'll go on board with the official results. Matthew then in 1st with the 118.1, Jack Laverty in 2nd with the 118.4, Lewis Curtis in 3rd, Jay in 4th, Voss in 5th, Matthew Collins 6th, Cameron Young in 7th, Diego in 8th, Ollie Flavel in 9th, Jamie with the retirement in 10th, Brett with his return is 11th, Pedro in 12th, possibly disappointing qualifying where he is, and 13th is Jack Yates, and 14th is Eric, as we'll go down the rest of the grid, down the formation lap. As I don't know if Bran actually returned to the lobby. Also, the key point in today's race, as we discussed earlier on, is to get a good start to the race, especially through turn 1 and 2. You can't afford a mistake, especially with the first couple of laps. You get wing damage. The one-stop strategy is not going to be really helping you in the race, as people can pull away with the DRS zones, especially for the top guys who've had a good qualifying. And there'll be a lot of tricky sections. What you've got to get right, as we've seen today through Ascari's been the trickiest for certain drivers, especially with Matthew Alder, JME, and also Jay with turn 5 also making that little error. So there's going to be a lot of possibly mistakes from the drivers if they can't get it right, if they just lack concentration. Have you got anything there to add, Kevin?
I was doing stuff there, so I wasn't quite listening, but yeah, I think we're going to see quite a lot of overtakes today. Obviously, the two Williams starting pretty much where you'd expect them to be. You have them in P1 and P7 to Mercedes. Well, I mean, you have one up there, but the other is down in 17th.
That is true, of course, and also strategies are going to be important to play out, as the strategies are either medium to soft or soft to medium, and unfortunately Brandon hasn't made it back in time, so I don't think there'll be a restart. Now, there may be actually a restart, I don't know unless he confirms it. But Matthew Order then is on the soft strategy. Everyone from 11th is on soft, so they're going soft to medium. Pedro, Jack, Eric, Felix and Casper all going medium to soft or medium to hard. Now medium to hard isn't the best strategy, it will be slower, as we are having a restart, it looks like. So I'll just
it looks like Bran didn't make it either, so yeah.
Okay, we're having technical difficulties with the lobby, so we will have a restart. So we'll be coming back very shortly, as I can technically still go down the rest of the grid then. Felix in 15th, Casper 16th, Brandon Glover does go 17th, Sandra in 18th, and 19th is Ewan Clark. As we will be resuming very shortly. Goodbye for now.
Do you want to do a race prediction?
Oh, yeah, that is true. We can do a race prediction. I'll let you start first then.
I would say that Matthew's gonna take it today. I think I say Jay all the time and it ends up being Matthew, so I'm just gonna put Matthew in first, I'm gonna put Jay in second, and I'm gonna put Jack Levity in third.
Okay then. Well, I think my top four then is going to be Jay taking the win today. I think he's going to do an aggressive strategy with Matthew close second, with Lewis Curtis in third, and I'm going to say Cameron Young for a recovery drive starting at 7th to take 4th place. I think he's going to do something amazing, as we have now just been invited to the lobby, so we will send the invite. Apologies for the technical issues.
If with you saying
as now we then go back to the standings, of course. This is the standings at the moment. As you can see there, Matthew Order then with 154 points to the lead. Second is Jay, so 52 point gap. So Jay has a lot to do, especially now it's round 10 out of 12 rounds. So Jay now has to do well today, or I believe the championship can be confirmed today as well, actually. 52 points.
It's three rounds left. He needs a 52 point gap to confirm it.
Yeah, that's what it is, actually. Yeah, with 52 points, he needs that gap, so it's actually just on the limit.
So Jay is going to have to beat him, or Matthew takes the championship today. I think, more or less.
And that is true, of course, though, as Cameron Young then will be trying to stay in 3rd place against Jack Loverty, Matthew Collins and Brandon and Pedro, which will be a nice fight to see near the end of the rounds, to see who gets the 3rd and final spot. But yeah, the championship could be wrapped up today if, well, in theory, if Matthew just outscores Jay, because Jay needs to outscore Matthew by 3 points to still have a mathematical chance. Because as we said, it's 52 points with the fastest lap gap is anywhere, and also there's only 2 rounds after this race to go. Jay needs to win.
Yeah, he would
and
need a 55 point gap right now, so there's 3 points keeping Jay in it right now.
That is true. As we're now going to have a look on the constructors then, as we saw earlier. as the Williams team then are still at the top with 220 points, with a 47 point gap, I believe. I think
be 37.
37. Sorry, my maths are there. 37 points then. Mercedes in second. So the constructors' fight is still not out of the question. It's going to be. No, it's not 37. Yeah, 57. I thought it said 200.
Oh,
my bad.
I thought it was 200.
Kevin, could you go in spectator, please, as you're not in it?
Oh, yeah.
So the constructors' theory, the maximum points they're going to get is 45. So, sorry, no, 44. So 44 points then in today's race could possibly seal the deal for the Williams team against the Mercedes and the constructors today, as the gap is pretty large, 57 points. So it's, if they basically get it over 88, I believe, the championship does go to the Williams for the constructors, and I believe they're first time champions this season as well in Williams, and it'll possibly be a second time champion of Matthew Alder in the drivers.
I think if by some miracle Mercedes got a 1-2 with the fastest lap, that would put them 13 points behind. Obviously that would mean that both Williams will have to be pointless, which I don't think is going to happen. I think that the chances of that happening are very, very slim. But if it did, the constructors' fight would be right back on. And also, if Jay took the win here without Matthew scoring a point, that would put him that would put him, I think, 27 points behind. So then if he got the next two wins and Matthew didn't get second, he could be in it with a decent shot. But as I said, it would be with Matthew's either retirement or just having a really bad race, which is very unlikely. So it looks like Matthew will probably take it today, but you never know.
That is true, of course. And also we have another possible constructors fight then between the Ferrari, Haas, Racing Point and the Toro Rosso team, as now we will be resuming very shortly, as now we are loading into the session, as we were experiencing technical issues. It's now been fixed. And also, if you do guys check on the Twitter about Season 8, more information will be issued later on in this year, of course. It'll be on the Twitter, and it'll also be in Discord if you already are in the Discord link. But if you do want to join IRL on the Discord about Season 8 and you want to know more information, do join the Discord channel, which is on the IRL Twitter. And also, we did say with the prediction that my prediction was Jay would take the win. I believe, Kevin, was yours Matthew? I believe.
Yep.
So me and Kevin then think Jay's going to win for me, and I think Kevin said Matthew's going to win. And also, to answer Callum Anderson's question, is this going to be for every league this graphic? Could possibly be an option. I'll have to learn it, of course, and we'll just see how it goes, but at the moment it is going to be an F1 for this season to the end.
Yeah.
As right now then we are about to start the formation lap then. As for some reason, was that my eyes, or did that just for some reason put Jack Laverty first?
I think it was, well, he's going in to the first, but Matthew is definitely starting.
Okay then. Well,
he's going very slowly though.
Oh no, is Matthew having some technical issues?
Yeah, he said he was having wheel problems before this race.
That is true, of course, and that will be an advantage for Jay, who's currently in fourth then, as now we will go on board with the tyre options. The top 10 had to start on the same tyre they qualified on, as also we're missing a driver, apparently. There's no 11th driver.
Matthew's trying to get back to his place now.
Callum.
when he almost hits Matthew Collins on his way back to the front.
It's true, of course. And also, Callum, we're not doing it. It's actually Paco who's actually doing all the fancy, awesome graphics for the IRL. As right now, then.
There's Matthew back where he should be.
Belongs. Yep, that is true. As it does say he is
back there. And now, of course, he's holding up the grid as much as he wants.
Yep. He has to be careful that nobody passes him and can't bother waiting. But for some reason, it does say we have 18 drivers. We actually have 17, I believe. Since, unless I've got desync one of the drivers.
I think you have desync because I can see all 18.
Who's 11th then? Thanks.
That would be Pedro. And he is there. Oh wait, now he's wait, what? Okay, yeah, no, now I see the issue as well.
Okay, there's a little bit of desync also between.
Yeah, for a second for me. Yeah, Pedro was 11th for me for a second, but he's not. That's a bit weird.
As then enough with the desync issues, we are now about to start. As Matthew will be lining up on pole position. As he will have Jack Larity though in his mirrors and Lewis Curtis right behind. As we're about to start IRL Season 7 Round 10 at Italy race. The light sequence will be starting very shortly. As the light sequence has started then, so now we're at 2 lights, 3 lights, now 4 lights, now 5 red lights until this race begins, and the race lights have gone out and the race has started, and Matthew's had an okay start. So is Jay in the Mercedes, actually had an okay start, and also the Alfa Romeo behind, and Jay's already trying to pass the McLaren as Jack Laverty hasn't had the best of starts. As we see there, Matthew got a bit rubbed behind Lewis
looks
Curtis.
like Matthew Collins went for a bit of a dive, and there's some lag there between the Ferrari and the Williams in the back. So in general, I think I saw a little bit of damage, but no one being affected too much. Everyone gets through pretty okay. So that's Cameron Young, and Ollie actually goes wide there and into the gravel trap. I'm not sure what's happened with him, but he's down in last place now. He's got gravel on his tires. That's not going to be great for him. And they're still fighting away. Jamie gets the better of Cameron, but Cameron's going to be able to come back at him now. Coming up to a scar, he's going to go on the outside and probably get this done just before the corner. He seems to be using more engine power, and Jamie loses another spot there to Diego.
As Jamie's actually got wing damage, it looks like on the left side, that end plate. And yeah, he's missing an end plate, so possibly wasn't there contact between him and Ollie, as now he's now losing more positions. Now Felix Negwa is now making the inside move for the final corner and gets the job done, as now we'll go on board with Lewis Curtis, who is under threat, as for some reason Matthew didn't set the fastest lap. Lewis Curtis did for the 24th flat.
Well, that means that Matthew had a warning, but
Here comes Jack Labs then, already
so that's
sizing
actually
Lewis
interesting.
up. As Jay's
Matthew
also
already
in the mix.
was a warning on lap 1.
That is true, of course, and Cameron Young and Jamie have pitted. So, have they got damage to their cars? Cameron Young's going on a set of hard tyres, Jamie's going mediums. I think Jamie's picked the better strategy option there, he's going to go medium to soft. And Jay's already trying to pass the McLaren, as Jack Laverty hasn't had the best
more
action pack further behind. We see there, Matthew Diego, it looks like, behind Lewis
looks like
Curtis.
Matthew Collins went for a bit of a dive, and there's some lag there.
As Matthew Collins has a big task at hand. He has a 15-second penalty, so he can't afford any penalty in today's race at the moment.
I was talking about Brandon Glover maybe not taking the chances as best as he could through some points of the season. Right now, he's made up 8 places from the start. He started, I think, down in 15th or yeah, it'll be 15th. And now he's up in 9th, and also on the medium tyres, so he has a better strategy for the end.
McLaren, as Jack Laverty has the best of starts, As we see there, Matthew got a bit rubbed behind Lewis
looks
Curtis.
like Matthew Collins went for a bit of a dive, and there's some lag
we did
there.
see that Matthew Collins made that dive bomb.
Ferrari and Williams.
Showing us now we're on board, but as we see Matthew had an okay start.
Jack saw a little bit of damage
down a little bit. Same with Jay. And you can just see there a bit of desync from Matthew Collins, and that dive almost sent Jack Laverty spinning and cost position against Lewis Curtis.
Yeah, not the. Was that the Red Bull having some problems there? That was Felix and Negwar on the exit of turn 2. But I think we have some fighting. That's Brandon Glover. Cassidy's looking for a mover on the outside, maybe, and he sticks behind for now.
That is true, of course. Brandon is in 9th then, and he is a man on the mission to try and help the Mercedes team in the Constructors' fight, and he's doing what he needs to do. His next victim is Pedro, the race winner at Germany. Will we have another weekend where Matthew Order hasn't won a race? As right now, though, we'll go on board with Jack Laverty as Lewis Curtis didn't get the good exit out of Ascari, and now Jack Laverty looks honest and ready to make the move on Lewis Curtis within the next couple of laps. You can just see so close, he's gaining on him.
Yeah, and this is just allowing Matthew Order to get away. He's got away 2 seconds now. I mean, as we said at the start, he's going for this championship right now, and he's pulling away from everyone else to really secure it. We do have Jack Laverty going for a move. He's going to go to the outside. Lewis Curtis fence to the inside, and he's going to make it around the outside, just very, very close there between them two. And also Jay might be looking for a move now, coming into the second chicane.
Jay is looking hungry. He's thinking about the move. Oh, and there's almost a little bit of contact there. He really had to slam those brakes. Just rubbed the end of that racing point. And Lewis Curtis then is trying to retake P2 off Jack Laverty. Also there's other fights further down the track with Casper, and Brand's out! Brand pushed it, he's done a J, and there is a safety car.
A full safety car.
And that is opened.
And that means that all of
Cameron.
Matthew's work, getting a 3-second gap, has been completely gone down the drain.
That is true, of course. And it just looked like Brand was trying to make a move or something. I didn't really get the best on board. Like, I didn't actually catch it, to be honest. And it just looks like he touched that curb and went straight into the tyre barrier. Just same like the other Mercedes did of Jay in qualifying. So that's unfortunate there for the Mercedes team, as they're only going to be scoring points with one driver today.
And Matthew is going to be coming in for his stop as well. Jack Laverty is going to follow, as will Lewis Curtis and Jay.
Oh god, there's a lot of people.
And yeah, we've got a very busy pit lane. Everyone seems to be coming into the pits. The guy on the only guy really on the mediums, that's Pedro, and also he's got Cassidy to follow him because they stay out. But it's not helped them. Like, everyone else has come in for their stop, pretty much, except the top 3. So the top 3 are not in a great position.
That's true, of course, and they've been on the hard coming type, except Matthew Collins. He's got mediums now. Mediums, I don't know. Could mediums go 22 laps, 23 laps? Could be a possibility.
I think with the safety car they could, but hards at the end are going to be better, and everyone around them is on hard, so he's going to have to make use of these mediums as while he can, because I think their advantage will go away near the end.
Yeah, that is true, of course. And the safety car has actually helped Jamie and Cameron Young. Because Cameron Young's already on the hards in 12th place, made some positions under the safety cars. Sondre actually almost went in the gravel trap himself in 11th place on the mediums. He's also risking the mediums tyres then. So these drivers who've run the mediums, fresh mediums, think they're going to go to the end. And Casper, Eric and Pedro haven't pitted, which in my opinion I think could be the better strategy. They could be on softs near the end, could be the fastest strategy, and these 3 could be a factor for the fastest lap, because the current fastest lap is held by Lewis Curtis, so 1:21.7. Could possibly see Casper, Eric and Pedro fight for that, and could possibly see another win for Pedro, which would be nice to see.
Yeah, right now though it doesn't. I mean, he's on the mediums for now, but I mean, he started on those, as did the 2 behind him. I don't think it's going to work out for them that well. Obviously, they couldn't really do much else other than pit, but I think starting on the mediums has just hindered them rather than helped them, because obviously the rest of the grid behind them have pit, and they're obviously right behind them. So once the top 3 pit, they'll be right down the order.
As Ollie and Jack Yates have made their pit stop then, and they've gone on the hard tyres. They don't think those tyres what they're on are going to make it to the end, and they've lost position to JME, which could be crucial in the race. But right now the focus is on Pedro at the moment, as Matthew Order is in 4th and Jay is in 7th right now. So
yeah, of course, right now provisionally it's still Matthew leading this race once top 3 make their first and final pit stop. I think this could be an opportunity as well. Obviously, Matthew's going to be the first to pass these guys. I think once he turns up and really gets on them after the safety car comes in, I think he might be able to get a little bit of a gap, potentially even more of a gap, with putting cars in between himself and people like Jack Levity and Lewis Curtis, who are trying to hunt him down right now. As safety car seems in this lap.
Yep, we did get a confirmation, and I've just seen some wing damage. Jay has got some wing damage with Lewis Curtis there. Lewis braked a little bit too early for Jay's liking, and that's unfortunate there for Jay, and that's going to be crucial for this championship, as Jay is in 7th on the hard tyres. Now he needs to hope for another safety car for that wing damage to be removed, as Pedro then only gets a 5 second. Alright then.
But looks like we're going now. Pedro has bolted, and he's going to have Cassidy right behind him in the slipstream. It looks like Eric didn't get the best restart. He's under pressure from Matthew Waller, who's already side by side with him. Doesn't look like Jack Levity's going to get with him as well. He's going to switch to the inside and then look to the outside. And actually, Eric has outbraked himself, and it hits Matthew Walder and holds up Jack massively. And that's going to allow Matthew to get a bit of a gap. And he's still not past him either.
It's true, as this is almost 3 wide there between Lewis Curtis and Jack Levity and Eric. Eric's really putting up a fight on those mediums. And we see the other Toro Rosso further behind. Sandre is trying to make moves and trying to also defend from Cameron Young. Unfortunately, that hasn't helped him in this case. And Jay has pitted and lost a lot of time. As Matthew Collins is also trying to go around.
He's Eric really holding up. You'd think that Jack should be able to.
As Jack Levity then is going on the outside. Oh, bit of contact between the Toro Rosso and the McLaren. Contact, but fair contact, of course. Now here comes Jack with the switch. Would Lewis Curtis and Matthew Collins possibly make it 4 wide down this straight? As they're getting really close now. Lewis Curtis is trying to find a way through.
Matthew Collins is going for a move on Lewis Curtis as well, down the inside, and he makes that move. And he's going to be looking on the exit. He's going to be hungry. He's going to be. Okay. Then.
It's going to be 4 wide. And here comes there now 4 wide. The throw. Oh, and a bit of contact there between Lewis Curtis and Matthew Collins. There, look like, and more contact between Matthew Collins and the Toro Rosso. And Jack Levity's gone off the track. He has to make a safe rejoin, give the position back, and yes, he does. And that was very
Matthew Collins is going to get past him now.
Yeah, it looked like that was the cause of the incident there between Matthew Collins and Eric. Matthew Collins touched Eric's tyre, then touched Jack Levity's tyre, and that's affected them. And this is a massive train we have right now from 15th to 6th. Sorry, to 5th right now. All trying to get past the 4th position driver, Eric, who's still getting challenged. As there's fights all over the place. Matthew Order now challenging Casper. Right now we're going to stay on board with this battle because this is the biggest battle we have. And now here comes Matthew Collins this time. Going on the outside, really close. Now Lewis Curtis is trying to find a way through. Go outside. More wheel banging between these two, and they need to be careful. And he goes on the outside. There's another battle behind between Jack Larity and Lewis Curtis. And there we go, Matthew Collins has the move, and Lewis Curtis is trying to fancy his chances on the inside there, as the DRS is now being enabled. And Jack Laverty now is going on the outside of the Toro Rosso driver, Eric.
Yeah, kind of 2x2 going into turn 1 here with the McLaren and Toro Rosso, and then 2 guys behind him with the Renault and the Racing Point. Eric is going to push him off the track into turn 2, and once again Jack's going to be on his rear. He's going to look to the inside this time. Eric leaves him the space, and it looks like he should be able to make the move now. Surely, and he does make it just. And I saw Matthew Collins almost make a mistake, and also Jack's gone off.
Yeah, there was a bit of contact there between Eric and Jack. I was on board with Voss, as Voss is now trying to make a move on Lewis Curtis, and possibly on Eric. Eric's really fighting. Oh, a bit more contact between Lewis Curtis and Voss. Oh, and the Toro Rosso there almost loses it of Sondra Sohaug, as right now Voss is trying to go past Eric, and Cameron Young's trying to get past Lewis Curtis. This is a massive fight for Eric, as now Voss gets the position, and those mediums on Eric's tyres just look completely failing at the moment, and possibly will need a scheduled pit stop.
Yeah, Lewis Curtis looking to the outside of Eric now. He's just about there. He's going to go for switchback line on the exit, and he actually doesn't get it quite
contact though.
Good enough.
You can just
now
see
they're side by side. He should be able to make the move now.
Ooh, bit of wheel banging. But I've got to say, this reminds me of Malaysia of 2009, I believe, or 2008, with Jarno Trulli and the Toyota against the McLarens. Just how slow they were. And right now, Eric is just dropping off like a train. Now, Cameron Young's possibly fancy a chance to the front. Oh, there's been a crash! Eric is out completely, and Cameron Young is lucky. That will definitely be investigated by the stewards, and Eric will not be happy. Cameron Young there was...
And another full safety car.
And that has helped Jay out. He can pick on medium tyres, and that was a big impact for Eric. And I wasn't expecting that. Cameron was a bit too ambitious, I might say, to make that move. There was not really that much space.
For my screen, it looked like a little bit of lag. I can't say for sure, but yeah, I think it's certainly one for the stewards after this race.
That is true, of course. As right now then, will any of them peel into the pits? Pedro's in then, Matthew's in as well, so ooh, Matthew almost rear-ended Pedro in the pits there. And he gets a 5-second penalty.
People who have this kind of helped out are Kasagi and Matthew Collins, because they were on the alternate strategy. Obviously Matthew Collins opted for mediums initially, and now another safety car, so obviously that has helped him out.
That's true, because we're now going to get a replay of the 4-wide moment very shortly, as now we are seeing it on our screen. As you can just see there, Jack Laverty on the outside of Eric. There's Matthew Collins as well with Lewis Curtis, and they just have a great exit, and it was great to see this massive fight slowly, just for a couple of seconds, that 4-way fight. And you can just see those 3 guys were miles quicker than Eric. A bit of contact there between Matthew Collins and Lewis Curtis, and then a bit more contact, and there you can just see that Matthew Collins touched the rear of Jack Laverty. Luckily he didn't spin round, and it was luckily that he could get back on the track. And we also are going to get a replay very shortly of the crash between Eric and Cameron Young, as we are under the safety car condition, as Jack Laverty is in the lead. So could we see finally Jack Laverty taking a win from not starting on pole, as he unfortunately missed his win in Bahrain. As now we do see the replay then. As you can just see there, Lewis Curtis gets a nice run on Eric on the inside down the long straight, and this is where Cameron Young's going to get a little bit of slipstream from these two. Got to watch out from behind as well. As you can see there, Lewis Curtis, bit of wheel banging between him and Eric. Eric gets unsettled a little bit as they're still going side by side, really close personal. And then Cameron Young just sits his front wing just a little bit of contact, and there you just see that. Now looking at that again, it actually looks like Cameron Young did have enough of his front wing there alongside Eric, and it just unfortunate they touched tyres and lost complete control, and Unfortunately, Cameron Young had to peel into the pits, but very unfortunate for Eric to have a DNF in Italy, and it's a shame to see.
Yeah, and obviously Cameron didn't come off the best of that either. Looking at the where Williams are in the championship, they're in a good position, but obviously for Cameron, he's gonna want better than sitting out of the points where he was. He was looking okay to maybe snatch a potential podium down the line, but now he's running plumb last, and he's gonna have to make up all that ground again.
That is true, of course, and Jay's now in 10th on the mediums. And we did say Matthew only has to score a few points to, I believe, either claim the championship today, as the point gap was 52 points. But right now, Jack Laverty is in the lead, with Voss in second and Diego in third. But could we see, Kevin, another race where Jay and Matthew haven't been on the podium, either winning or been on the podium at all?
I think it's well possible. I mean, obviously this the grid right now seems a little mixed. Obviously the top three, I'm pretty sure, should be able to go to the end. Matthew has opted for the mediums, which is I'd say the right call. Then Pedro ahead of him opted for the hards in the same lap, so obviously we'll see how those strategies play out. Obviously Pedro had to, because he started on the mediums, but I think the top three are in a pretty good position. I think that I don't think they'll let Matthew get away so easily, so we could see a good fight at the front.
Well, that's true. Safety car has come in this lap then, as we're coming now through the final corners. We're about to go to green flag racing. As there goes Jack, he already picks up the power, drifts through the final corner, and here comes Voss, already trying to make the move. Now they can make the move as we go green, 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 and here comes Voss now on the outside of Jack Laverty. Didn't have a good start, could have possibly another 3-wide moment, but nope, the Haas driver stays behind, and look at this side by side through turn one. Jack Laverty gets the move and keeps the position, and Voss wasn't confident under that possible move. As Matthew is already on Diego. We've seen these two come to blows in Japan last season, as these two now are side by side. Diego versus Matthew, as Diego is trying to do something to get in today's race, and unfortunately can't get the move done. And look at Matthew already battling it out. This is an incident further behind. That's Jack Yates who's round, and that is a shame to see, as he's dropped down the grid. He would have gone on board, but right now there's a nice fight for second place, and Matthew is really trying to fight off the Renault. He looks really confident on those mediums already, and look at that, Kevin, he already gets the move done before Scari.
Yeah, it looks like Matthew's really on charge. Obviously this safety car, he's got to put a fresh set of mediums on. He's got to really charge through the field, and he's doing just that. I mean, at the start of the race he had a 3-second gap, and he seems to be the quickest man out on track by quite a bit, so it's not really surprising that he's getting through so quickly, and I think very soon we'll be seeing him right on the back of Jack, making a move for the lead.
That's true, of course. Matthew Collins now is also challenging Diego as well, as we did see Jay making some positions further behind on the Red Bull is his next target. But here comes Matthew Collins on the inside of Diego, possibly going to try the outside. Can't make more contact.
He's been pushed off. It's I think Matthew Collins was there, but I think Diego didn't think he was, and didn't give him room. And now he's also on the back foot. Yeah, Jay's going to have a look. There's also Jack Yates and Felix Negor on the back. Jay makes the move down the inside. It looks like there's some major desync there.
As Matthew actually gets a 5-second time penalty for a 1-lap place gain, so that's a 20-second penalty now, will be added anyway roughly to his overall time, with the 15-second penalty he has on the Stewart and the 5-second what he has now, so that's 20 seconds worth of penalties he has. Jay then moves up to 8th, and Cameron Young into 9th, so this is where Matthew would need Cameron to just try and attack Jay as much as possible, as for some reason we go on the wrong point, and the desync between him and Diego, so him and Matthew Collins is real.
Yeah, looking back for 12th though, Lewis Curtis is trying to make up the ground that he lost at the start. He was running in the podium position. He's going to go down the inside of Felix Neguar, and he's going to make the move from 12th. So now he's looking to make up places, and now also Jamie Morris is looking at Matthew Collins now. He's looking at the outside for turn 1. Will he get it done before the corner? It doesn't look like it. We also have Cameron Young going down the inside of Jay. Jay holds him off just about, and that's going to give Jamie Morris a run on him as he gets past Matthew Collins and into turn 1. Actually gets up on the grass, and now they're going to be back side by side again for the second chicane. Is Jamie and Matthew, and it looks like Jamie's just going to hold him off and keep that P10.
That is true, of course. Jamie's holding 10th at the moment. You can see a lot of people going off the bit of the track a little bit, off their car on the grass and gravel. As right now, we will go on board with Ollie Flavel, who's on board with Diego. These two had contact in Germany, and unfortunately it was down to lag. As now these two are going side by side. Thuruscari is both Hasses down to 5th and 6th. Oh, and Ollie makes a mistake. Thuruscari.
Ollie's made a major mistake. He keeps out of the wall just about, but he's going to go right down the order.
Ooh, he almost spins it.
Oh, that was quite
he would be furious for that. That was just under the pressure there, and unfortunately couldn't make the move. Look, we have another fight for the lead. Matthew Order now trying to make a move on Jack Laverty. Those mediums are now starting to work compared to the hards, and Jack Laverty has nothing to answer at the moment. But remember, Matthew Order has a 5-second penalty for rear-ending the Renault, which I think may be staying with him, unless it does get removed.
Was it, which safety car was it? If it was the first one, then it would have got removed.
It was in the pits. It was in the pits. It wasn't in the safety car. Well, it was in the safety car scenario, but when he peeled into the pits, Jack Laverty rear-ended him. As we did notice that
Jay seems to. Oh, and there's been a massive crash.
Oh no!
This has gone out at the exit of the second chicane. We got a virtual safety car. I'm not sure what happened there, but Jamie's car went right round into the barrier, and he's out of this race. I got a decent camera view of it, but I couldn't see what went on. Looks like he was maybe fighting with Matthew Collins there.
Well, sorry to cut you off there, Ken, but we do get a replay off the safety car restart. As you can just see that Jack Laverty for the final corner just drifted round there, and then Jack Laverty did an amazing job to hold Voss up and still keep the position on the outside, and then we saw Matthew Order then overtaking Diego. So now we're back after the VSC.
Felix Negworth just made a move on Matthew Collins for P10 there, so someone else takes P10 as Matthew Collins comes into the pit lane. So it looks like it was, and is that? Oh, that's a bottle from Sondre round the final corner. He's got wing damage, and he's gonna have to come in the pits too.
The bottle at it again. He will peel into the pits then, as we did miss that little fight there between Jay and Cameron Young. Cameron Young does get by, but Jay looks like he's about to retake the position. And look at Jay, he's looking really quick and feisty, and look at that, already on the inside, possibly through turn 3 and 4. Cameron has to give him a bit of space.
He'll get a much better exit.
Jay's still there. Jay is still there as they're going side by side, almost contact. Oh, and there's contact between them two, and that I couldn't really tell.
Curtis almost, yeah.
Oh, and Jay's really
Curtis is going to maybe make a move.
Here comes Lewis Curtis now. Jay is starting to bottle under the pressure, and here comes Lewis Curtis now on the inside. Oh, that was close and personal. Lewis Curtis does squeeze Jay a little bit, and that is unfortunate there for Jay. Now he's just lost 2 positions really quickly, as both Haas drivers are still trying to find a way past the Pedro in 4th place. As Diego is just behind Casper.
Yeah, looking at the front, yeah, you just Matthew sets the fastest lap, and he's also 2 seconds in the lead, so it looks like basically what happened at the start all over again on lap 18 out of 27, and it looks like he is on his way to claim this championship. Jay's down in 9th place, and it doesn't look like he's having the best race right now, so I think Matthew's able to maybe cruise a bit, because people behind him are on the harder tyre and slower tyre therefore, so I think Matthew can relax a little bit.
We're now going to get another replay of Ollie Max Lavelle with the move he tried to make on Diego, and unfortunately just cracked under pressure. As we can see there, up to the first DRS zone, he's on the outside, looking very strong. Diego goes back in front of him. Let's see, he just loses it on traction through Ascari, and it wasn't by touching the curb, and that's unfortunate to see Ollie make that mistake and drop further down behind. And the software we're using, Jamie, is OBS. If you would like some more info, message Paco and he will send it you. As Matthew Order also gets a 3-second time penalty, I've just realised, as well. So Jack Laverty needs, if that 5 seconds does get removed, he needs to stay within 3 seconds, 2.9, to try and challenge Matthew Order for the win. As Diego...
And the two... Oh no, that's not two Ass drivers fighting. Yeah, Casper's came into pit again.
And he's done 8 laps on mediums.
Does he have damage? No damage. This seems like
he's
a
going for the quicker
lap.
He's going for the fastest lap. He's going to steal it from Matthew. As Jay gets a 10-second time penalty. And Jay is furious and he's out. He's just spun. Hopefully he doesn't take anybody out.
Did you see what happened there?
Yeah, he just went straight into the wall.
And the 10-second time penalty, did you get anything on that?
I think he cut the corner or got rear-ended or something. I think he's retiring actually when it's safe. So if he does retire, I think it will be confirmed that Matthew Older, wherever he finishes, will be champion.
Not quite. There is still 3 points in it, so if Matthew were to crash, he'd still be in with a small shot, I think.
Possibly.
But it doesn't look like Matthew is going to be crashing. Oh, I've just caught Diego almost making a mistake, and Lewis Curtis behind him also making a very similar mistake. They both keep it on the track.
There's one board with Cameron Young then, making his move on the outside on Lewis Curtis, and gets the job done quite easily, as everyone's now spread out a little bit now after the pit stops and the safety car. But Lewis Curtis got caught in theory because of the wing damage. I'm not saying Cameron only gained him because of that, but that wing damage would have lost Lewis Curtis a lot of time, and Jay has retired.
Out.
So the gap was 52 points. Now he would need it to be 52 points for next week to have a chance. So if Matthew even scored 1 point, he is champion. Matthew could score 1 point and Matthew is champion right now, because then it would be 53. So Jay has retired.
Yeah, looks like Sondre kind of slowed down a bit, just kind of, I don't know, take a look maybe or something. That was a bit funny. And Matthew's gonna pit, but I think that means he's gonna get lapped though.
No, that's Sondre. Oh, sorry, I thought you said Matthew. Sondre, yeah, Sondre's pitting then for possibly soft tyres then. Plus, doesn't feel the mediums can go to the end.
Yeah, I think he should have stayed out on another lap, because now he's gonna.
Oh, Matthew's in.
Unless Matthew's gonna wait. Oh,
no,
Matthew's
in. So the mediums tyre life.
Oh, everyone's in.
Oh, safety car. That's why there is a safety car.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't. I thought you knew. Jeez.
No, I didn't even know about that. Wow. Okay then, that is interesting. Now Matthew will have to serve his 5 second, and it's unfortunate that Jay isn't going to win the championship, and he will be frustrated, as you did see he was. But Jack's, Ollie, the McLarens are first and second.
Puts the McLarens, yeah.
Ollie is in first place, Jack Laverty in second, Matthew Older in third. Only got a 3 second penalty now.
And
his
with a penalty.
Yep, so his 5 second has been served.
He does have a 3 second penalty that will stay. Yep.
Casper in 5th, Diego then goes to 6th now. Pedro is in 7th. Lewis Curtis comes out in 8th place. As Cameron Young then is coming out in 9th, with Felix Negwa in 10th, going to score some points for the Red Bull team. As Jack Yates then on lap 21 coming out of the pits in 11th, with Matthew Collins still in the pit box, serving his 5 second, I believe. Yep, yeah, they are. And there you go, Matthew Collins now leaves the pits. He will be coming out in 12th place, with Sondre Sohaug running up the grid in 13th.
With the two McLarens leading, of course, Ollie will know that he's not really in the fight for this lead. He'll also know that his teammate definitely is. He is in front of Matthew, so maybe Ollie will let his teammate through and try and hold up Matthew to help him out, because for McLaren I think a win would be quite huge, because I don't think they've got a win this season. Or maybe they might have got one, but I'm not sure on that.
No, they haven't had a win. They've had podiums. Jack Leverty missed out on a win in Bahrain, as he had good pace there. Now, could we see Jack Leverty finally securing a win, or will Matthew just stop that from happening? As right now,
yeah,
he is confirmed champion.
For McLaren, a win would be quite huge. So if Ollie is going to play the team game, he would let his teammates through into turn one, and try and hold up Matthew as much as he can to try and get a gap going. Because then he can, I mean, obviously there's Voss right behind Matthew. I'm sure Voss doesn't care about the championship. He's just going to be wanting to finish as high as he can. So I think if Ollie can put him close to Voss, then maybe he can get in the fight and he can let his teammate pull away. But that's ifs and buts. And will Ollie play the team game? I mean, it's getting close to the end. Will he try and hold this for himself?
Well, to be fair, I think if Ollie would be smart, and he is quite smart to be fair, I think he will let his teammate through and just hold Matthew like a bus if he can. Remember though, those soft tyres on Matthew's car are going to be a lot grippier and possibly a second faster than Ollie already on those mediums, and they're already 6/10 roughly fresher when they're fresh mediums compared to fresh softs, so softs are quicker anyway. So it's going to be a task for Ollie, but he could also play it for himself in the objective that he wants to win. He wants to secure the McLaren's win in today's race and just hold both of them up, which could possibly result in a crash or penalties or something like that. As right now, remember, Ollie and Jack don't have any penalties, and we saw earlier Ollie made that mistake. Ollie can bottle under pressure, so we just have to see what happens, as I believe the safety car will be coming out, staying out for another lap. So on lap 23, the safety car will be coming in, and then we will be going to the restart of the race.
For Ollie, the safety car has saved him really, because I mean, after his mistake, he was last, and now all of a sudden he finds himself leading the Grand Prix. So quite a bit of luck there. And now I think if he does play the team game, he can score a lot of points from McLaren. But it's in his hands right now, and it's we don't really know if he will play the team game or not. I would say that he would, because it's the logical thing to do, but laps are winding down as well, so that would be a factor.
That is true, of course, when Matthew has that penalty as well, so when about 4 laps he has to build a 3-second gap, which is possible, but to Jack, not possibly, because Jack's on the same tyre, fresher, same ERS mode, same possibly similar fuel levels, so if Jack Leverty's got a bit extra fuel in the car, he needs to use it against Matthew.
Yeah, he's certainly. Yeah, who do you think is going to come out with the win of this race?
I think Jack's going to take the win. I think he deserves it. He's been there all season, and you know, he was a bit unlucky with Bahrain, and the reason why I'm saying this, Matthew's had the season, his best season so far in IRL, and he will be the first back-to-back champion as long as he doesn't DNF. But as I've said,
Matthew's revving his gearbox quite a bit to try and get rid of fuel, maybe.
Possibly make the car lighter. Safety car is in this lap. You are right then, as we are about to go green flag racing again in Italy, and I'm surprised how many safety cars. We had 3 safety cars and 1 VSC. So it's quite surprising, and we've only had 4 DNFs.
Yeah, I think Ollie's going to take this right to the safety car line. I don't think, I feel like he would. I don't think he's going to bolt at the end of the exit of the corner, but he might.
Well, we saw Jack try that, and he almost lost control of the car and almost lost the
he's
position.
Not going yet. He's still, he's going whenever he wants.
He's going now though, and that, in my opinion, wasn't the best strategy. And this is now opened the door for Jack, as Jack now is already going to try and make a move on the inside. Matthew Collins ignores yellow flags, gets a 5-second penalty. As look at Matthew Alder trying to get the way through on Jack Laverty, and there Ollie just completely blocks him. And Matthew Alder's getting passed by Pedro. Sorry, Voss. As Voss, I don't know what's going on here. Voss is desinking, and Matthew drops to 5th place. Now possibly 6th place.
Dropped for 6th with Lewis Curtis getting back past him.
He's had a bad restart.
And, oh my god.
I was like, I'm not even looking at that. I'm just going to pay attention with Matthew Alder and Casper. As Voss then is in 2nd, Ollie is in 3rd. And right now Jack Laverty is doing what he needs to take the win in this race. Ollie put a 2nd gap on those soft tyres. As Matthew Alder then has a lot of work to do to try and win this race, as now his target is Casper then in 4th place. As Casper's actually trying to make a move on Ollie Flabel, who's in 3rd.
Yeah, I think Ollie is playing the team game right now. I think he could have done the restart a little better, but I think he did plan to play the team game. He is trying to hold these guys up, and it looks like he's doing a pretty decent job of it as well. Keeps them behind through parabolic. I think at least Casper's going to get past him, and Matthew's also got a run, so we could see a 3 wide moment maybe. Casper goes to the outside, Matthew's going to go in the middle of them. It is going to be 3 wide into turn 1. Who is going to come out on top? Ollie has the inside line, Casper's going to have to back out of it, and Matthew does get it, but then there's Matthew's teammate out of nowhere.
Cameron Young
gets a double overtake.
Cameron Young might actually challenge Matthew Alder. He don't have to help his teammate anymore. Jay's not here. Could Cameron possibly fancy a move on the inside?
Casper had a look down the inside. It meant that he couldn't go for a move on his teammate.
But remember that,
yeah, remember Matthew also does have that penalty. I'm not sure if Cameron has the penalty. So all Cameron really needs to do is stick with him, I think. And he should be able to come away with this podium, as there's 2 laps to go once we finish this. So it is going to be down to the wire, I think, and we don't know how penalties is going to play out. Right now, Jack Laverty does have a 1.5 gap about, and Matthew is 4 seconds off that. So even if there was penalties, I don't think Matthew would be able to gain. So I think it's kind of who will get 3rd as Jack Laverty sets the fastest lap of the race. So we could be walking out of Italy with the fastest lap and the race win, which I think would be a very good race and a deserved race for him, as we've got 2 laps left now. And it looks like he is pulling away as Ollie is getting passed by Lewis Curtis on the outside. Turn 2, it'll turn to the inside for what is turn 3, I think. Ollie keeps ahead for now. He's going to be in the safety room. Will he go left or right? Will he be able to make a move into the 2nd chicane? He closes up, but not now.
Ooh, gets a penalty.
He also gets a 3-second pen.
Although we're going to go on board with the battle between Cameron Young and Matthew Alder now. Gaps 5 tenths. So could Cameron now pick up the pace a little bit more? He's in DRS range. He has the advantage. He has DRS. Matthew doesn't have it. Will they fight if Cameron gets a penalty? I don't think they're going to fight that much since Cameron hasn't got a penalty, so he is going to get the position anyway on Matthew. And this is surprising. This will be twice that Cameron's actually beaten Matthew in the race, and it'll be in a row as well, twice in a row. Matthew Collins gets a 3-second time penalty. So he's got possibly 28 seconds worth of penalties now, I believe, or 29, something like that, with his 15-second added. As then here comes Cameron Young then.
Yeah.
That was on the final lap.
On to the last lap. And he's got, well, neither does, I was going to say that Cameron has no ERS, but Matthew has no ERS. Casper has, no one has any ERS, Jared.
That's surprising. Maybe they just want to try and push the car to the limits to try and get the fastest lap possibly. But right now Jack Laverty has got the fastest lap on board. Maybe this may be a team game to help Cameron get the fastest lap also from Matthew with a slipstream tactic. But Cameron needs to get the move done as soon as possible if he wants to beat him on track, or could just wait out on penalties. Right now though, Jack Laverty looks like he is a man on a mission to take his first win in IRL, and his first win all season, and the first one for the McLaren team. And right now then, Diego and Matthew Collins further behind are having a scrap. Unfortunately, we're going to stay on board with this battle because this is for the team game. as we will jump on board with Jack Laverty very shortly. See if Cameron gets a good run through Ascari. He's not close enough. I think he's going to wait till penalties. Dave gets a penalty though, as we go on board with Jack Laverty, who's going to take his debut win in IRL Season 7, Round 10 at Italy, and he's coming to the line and he takes the win. Voss takes second. Matthew
Voss takes the win on penalties.
Oh, penalties, that switches it.
And I think he knew it as well. He was weaving across the line. I think he knew that Jack had pens. And he actually takes his first win.
So Jack actually got beaten. I thought Jack actually would have won. So it's actually Voss who takes his debut win then. It's a shame. Yet again, Jack's being let down by a penalty. Matthew stays third then. Cameron Young fourth and Ollie fifth. As we see that, Voss in the Renault, top step at the podium. It's been a while since we've seen the Renault this season being at the top step of the podium. Actually, that is a lie. Pedro actually was in the Renault last week and won. It's good to see this. Could this be a possible future team, Voss and Pedro, for the Season 8? Never know.
But yeah, on a separate note though, with that third place, Matthew does secure that championship title.
Yep.
Although, I mean, maybe there might be some post-race penalties, but for now, Matthew is the IRL Season 7, I'm pretty sure we're in now, F1 champion.
That's true, of course. As now then, we'll go on board with Voss, who takes the win, Jack Laverty in second, Matthew Alder in third, Cameron Young in fourth, with Jack Laverty taking the fast lap with a 20.6, Ollie Flavel in fifth, Pedro in 6th, Casper 7th, Lewis Curtis 8th, Sandro Sohaug in 9th. Even with the bottle he made in the pit lane, he scales more points today and beats Felix, who rounds 10th for one final point. Jack Yates in 11th, Diego 12th, Matthew Collins, who had 8 seconds worth of penalties, so he did have 28 seconds worth of penalties, I was right. Jay, who DNF'd today, unfortunately he was a runner-up in the Season 7 Championship provisionally. Jamie 15th, Eric 16th, Brandon 17th, all DNFing in today's race. You're alright, Matthew Alder is provisionally the World Drivers' Champion of Season 7, the back-to-back champion, the only person in the IRL to do that.
I'm just getting the top 3 right now.
However, look, we are going to get the top 3 for the interviews then.
He's trying to hold these guys up, and it looks like he's doing a pretty decent job as well. Keeps them behind through parabolic. I think at least Casper's going to get past him, and Matthew's also got a run, so we could see a 3 wide moment maybe. Casper goes to the outside, Matthew's going to go in the middle of them. It is going to be 3 wide into turn 1. Who is going to come out on top?
Best run, but then the slipstream played into effect. You can just see that the amount of straight line speed he's gained. He's already at 200 miles an hour. He's fighting it out.
Matthew's teammate out of nowhere.
Tried to hold Cameron Young. May want to Cameron Young might actually challenge Matthew Alder. He don't have to help his teammate anymore. Jay's not here. Matthew makes move. A little bit of contact between him and Ollie. Slowed Ollie down. Also, Cameron squeezed his way through between them actually as well, which I only just noticed. So good job from both Williams drivers. Unfortunately, Cameron Young didn't get third place by penalties. As I will now invite the top 3 then for today. As Kevin, could you just put something in the PSN chat and let them know that there is the interviews for the top 3, please? Thank you very much. Matthew Alder has made it to the interviews. We will start on with him then. Well, Matthew, congratulations, provisionally the champion, unless you get like 30-second penalties for something. but congratulations with third place. It wasn't the win, of course, unfortunately. You had that penalty. How do you think your race panned out with the strategy and that you possibly knew that you could win the championship today?
I think I played the strategy the best I possibly could. I made every pit stop correct. Other than that, my driving was good as well. I struggled to get into a rhythm in the first half of the race, but I managed to get into one. But then some unrelated clown decided to crash out intentionally, so yeah, that lost me probably the entire race win. So no fault mine really, and that 5 second, 5 second was a joke.
Well, I can see you're really annoyed with that third safety car there. But I do have to say, even if you didn't have that safety car in play and you did catch a few of the penalties, something else could have happened. Could have been the VSC. But I understand why you're annoyed. But you can't be that disappointed. You have provisionally won the championship, and you're the first IRL champion to win back-to-back this season. I haven't done it. Kevin's still got a chance to do it. What do you have to say about that? Do you think you could make it a triple crown next season?
Well, I would definitely like to. It's a new game, so obviously I won't know if I will be as fast on that game. But it would be very nice to take the most amount of championships.
Well, I ain't got any other questions to actually ask you, unless you've got a question to ask him, Kevin.
Looking at the last 2 rounds, Matthew, now that you have won the championship, I think you don't quite have the constructors, but maybe would you be taking it a bit easier now that you know that your drivers' championship is won, and given that you have quite a gap in the constructors as well?
I think I'll actually try harder to win personally, because there's nothing to fight for now, so I can be a bit more aggressive now, and I won't. Well, I can take more risks now because there's nothing on the line anymore.
Okay, well, congratulations, of course, on your title, provisionally at least. It's been very dominant. Of course, Jay's been there, here and there, but I think you were there just a little bit more, and fully deserving of the championship. So, congratulations on that.
Oh yeah, of course, congratulations on that as well. Congratulations for your third place. With next week being... where's the calendar? Next week being Suzuka. How do you feel you're going to be there? I know you said you're going to take more risks and everything, but do you think you could take a victory finally after the last 3 rounds? You haven't had a victory. Do you think you can end that streak and actually get a win and possibly get a 1-2 with Williams, or...?
What? I thought my interview was over.
Go. I'll repeat the question. Well, with you saying you being a bit more aggressive this season, you have Japan next week. Do you think you could stop the winless streak of 3 rounds now you haven't won? Do you think you could win in Suzuka and get the Williams the 1-2 next week?
Well, it's a wheel track, so I don't think the 1-2 will be possible. There's no cameras on the pad. But I think I can stop the winless streak, providing no other outsiders block it from happening.
Okay then. Well, I ain't got any other questions to ask you then, Matthew, and I think you're the only interviewer for today then. As you can see there, provisionally then, Voss does take the win, as you can see on the graphic, with Jack Laverty in 2nd, Matthew Order in 3rd place. Also, we will give a shout out to Matt, or CTI's Demon, to his stream. He's doing a 24-hour stream for charity. If you guys do want to look at that, do message him on Discord if you guys are on Discord who know him. But if you do want to message, I believe his YouTube channel is CTI's Demon. But other than that, it's been a great race. As Karen then says in the comments, we shall get a 1-2. But it's been a great race, Kevin, and it's been a very interesting race. And we've got one championship basically confirmed. Possibly next week another championship with the constructors confirmed. Are you looking forward for next week at Japan?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the driver's title is done, but don't think that's going to affect any of the racing. I think if anything, we'll get even more overtakes, more aggressive driving. So, yeah, I think we're in for a good final 2 rounds.
Well then, we will do now the closing down procedure then of IRL. This has been International Racing League Season 7 F1 Tier Round 10 at Italy. I've been your commentator IRL Neon, or as Jared Fosbury. I've been joined by my co-commentator Kevin Harrison, or as Aspect. We've also been joined with the graphics by Paco Suarez. We'll give him a little shout out there with the amazing work he's done, and a shout out to Matthew Order with his Drivers' Championship. And if you guys want to see more content, join us tomorrow for IRL Season 7 F2 tier and F3 tier at 4:30 UK time at Italy. But if you do want to see more action-packed racing for the F1 guys, join us next week on Saturday at 6 o'clock. Leave a like, subscribe, turn your notification bell on, and we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye. starts. As we see that Matthew got a bit rubbed behind Lewis
looks like
Curtis.
Matthew Collins went for a bit of a dive, and there's some lag there between the Ferrari and the Williams. Back though, in general, I think I saw a little bit of damage, but no one being affected too much. Everyone gets through.
Chance on the inside there, as the DRS is now being enabled, and Jack Laverty now is going on the outside of the Toro Rosso driver.
Yeah, kind of 2x2 going into turn 1 here with the McLaren and Toro Rosso, and then 2 guys behind with the Renault and the Racing Point. They're just going to push him off the track into turn 2, and once again Jack's going to be on his rear. He's going to look to the inside this time. Eric leaves him the space, and it looks like he should be able to make the move now. Surely, and
he's pushing down to the lap. As now these two are going side by side. Turascari, both Hasses then, 5th and 6th. Oh, and Ollie makes a mistake, Turascari.
Ollie's made a major mistake. He keeps out of the wall just about, but he's going to go right down the order.
Ooh, he almost spins it.
Oh, that was quite. He's going wherever he wants.
He's going now though, and that, in my opinion, wasn't the best strategy. And this is now opened the door for Jack, as Jack now is already going to try and make a move on the inside. Matthew Collins ignores yellow flags. It's a 5-second penalty. As look at Matthew Alder trying to get the way through on Jack Laverty, and there Ollie just completely blocks him. And Matthew Alder's getting passed by Pedro. It's like Voss, I don't know what's going on here. Voss is desinking, and Matthew drops to 5th place.
Trying to hold these guys
now
up,
possibly 6th place.
He's doing a pretty decent job of Lewis Curtis getting back past.
He's on a bad restart.
At least Casper's going to get past him. Matthew's also got a run, so we could see a 3-wide moment maybe. Casper goes to the outside. Matthew's going to go in the middle of them. It is going to be 3-wide into turn 1. Who is going to come out on top? Ollie has the inside line. Casper's going to have to back out of it, and Matthew does get it, but then there's Matthew's teammate out of nowhere.
Cameron Young may want to
overtake.
Cameron Young might actually challenge Matthew Alder. He don't have to help his teammate anymore. Jay's not here.